In the past, the method for political ads were newspapers, direct mail, radio, and television. With the event of time, the public became aware of just how powerful and game-changing political advertising could be. With a new face, a new beginning, a new regime, and many more progressive policies, all eyes are on the UK's PM. The fates of UK citizens are all set to be changed soon. Today's video shows why Boris Johnson has ruled himself out of the race to replace Liz Truss as UK PM. Stay tuned until the end, as we have something very important for you. After a weekend of wavering, former Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced his withdrawal from the race. At the same time, Chancellor of the Exchequer Jeremy Hunt supported Rishi Sunak, putting him one step closer to being the next Prime Minister of the UK. Sunak made a brief commitment to lead with purity, professionalism, and responsibility if he were to win the race for 10 Downing Street in a message posted on Twitter late Sunday, just after Johnson indicated he wouldn't run for fear of splintering the Conservative Party. Following Johnson's decision to end his Caribbean vacation early to begin his political campaign, the competition is now down to two candidates, Sunak and House of Commons leader Penny Mordaunt. Bloomberg's count shows that Sunak has 150 MPs on his side, compared to 25 for Mordaunt. Johnson had support from 51 known allies, but he claimed in his statement that he had the backing of 102 MPs. This number, in principle, would have been sufficient to force a vote among party members who have supported Johnson in the past. After the Home Secretary was fired, the Chief and Deputy Chief Whips resigned, and Conservative MPs expressed their displeasure in several public statements. Liz Truss relinquished control of number 10. After weeks of the market and political turmoil, relief was brought about by the appointment of a new Chancellor of the Exchequer and a U-turn on most of her economic policies. Following Truss' resignation on Thursday, the UK was again looking for a new Prime Minister after serving a tenure in office shorter than her leadership campaign. British politician Rishi Sunak was chosen as the Conservative Party's leader and is the country's next Prime Minister. Sky Bet favored Rishi Sunak, who campaigned against Truss in the Conservative leadership race last summer, paying £8.64, $7.87, for every £5 wagered on the former Chancellor. After Chancellor Jeremy Hunt declared himself out of the running, Leader of the House of Commons Penny Mordaunt moved up to second favorite with odds of 9-4. Boris Johnson is another candidate moving up the bookies' rankings. The Times stated that the former Prime Minister is anticipated to run for the Tory leadership, and Sky that lowered his chances of doing so to 4-1. Politics betting odds should be regarded with a grain of salt. In terms of the markets, they represent common investors' opinions rather than expert analysts. Boris Johnson, a former British Prime Minister, will not run in the election to succeed Liz Truss. Some Conservative MPs had supported Johnson for the top position, despite having been removed from office only 3 months prior, and he allegedly informed allies during the past few days that he would formally enter the race. Johnson, though, said it was just not the proper moment. He continued by saying that to compete in the competition's further rounds, he had passed the very high hurdle of 102 nominations. Although the former Prime Minister had gained support from about 60 parliamentarians in public, it was still determined how many nominations he had received. In his remarks, Johnson addressed Rishi Sunak and Penny Mordaunt, his two competitors who have both formally entered the race. Though we tried to reach out to Penny and Rishi in the hopes that we could work together for the country's good, Johnson added, "We have regretfully not been able to work out a manner of achieving this." Nadine Dorries, a close supporter of Johnson's and a former culture secretary, stated on Twitter that Johnson was the sole MP who had received a mandate from party members and the British public by winning the general election. Johnson said in the statement that he had a very excellent chance of winning the election with support from Conservative Party members and might even return to Downing Street. But over the past few days, he has regrettably come to the terrible realization that doing this would be morally incorrect and can't properly govern. Prior to losing trust in the last few months of his term due to political controversy with COVID-19 rule-breaking and his connections to disgraced MP Chris Pincher, Johnson had previously had high levels of popularity. So to help you understand how the contest or this election works, we are here to give you a brief about it. Here it goes. The Conservative Party leadership election will choose from a narrow list of contenders. However, to restore the party's reputation and calm the markets this time, the procedure was accelerated into a single week. Candidates must get the support of 100 MPs in order to qualify for the party leader vote. Given that the party has 357 MPs and that each one is only permitted to cast one vote, the threshold is especially high. This reduces the number of potential candidates to 3. One candidate will win the election and take over as Prime Minister of Great Britain if they obtain the necessary 100 votes. Indicative ballots will be cast if 2 or more candidates receive 100 nominations. Conservative Party members, who comprise about 200,000 people and account for 0.3% of the British population, will have until 28 October at 11 a.m. to cast their online ballots if the election process goes past 24 October. On the belief that a future Sunak premiership would be better equipped to attempt to restore the country's finances, UK bonds jumped at Monday's opening. Following weeks of unrest during which investors sold off UK assets, the campaign was started by Prime Minister Liz Truss's intention to resign. Her economic strategy, which included a significant increase in borrowing to pay for tax cuts, shook the markets and further alienated voters from the Conservatives. The most recent development in the turmoil of British politics that followed the 2016 vote to leave the European Union was the potential that Johnson, who left less than 2 months ago, would run again. After a string of scandals rocked his government, Johnson, whose ability to connect with a broad audience helped the Conservatives to a resounding victory in the 2019 general election, was forced to resign. Up until the collapse of Truss administration, his political career seemed all but ended. Since Attlee's time as Prime Minister, tax rates in the UK have been at their greatest level. Compared to Sunak's more polished persona, Mordaunt strikes a more relaxed tone that resonates better with the electorate. Before being elevated to the position of Speaker of the House of Commons, she served as the Trade Secretary. Her assured performances in the lower house and upbeat outlook sparked speculation that she could aid the Conservatives in moving past the Johnson-Sunak scandals. Mordaunt finished second to Sunak in the election that made Truss the new premier, although she had been ahead of Truss up until that crucial round of voting among her fellow MPs. Mordaunt came in second place behind Defense Secretary Ben Wallace in a Conservative Home website poll of party members conducted in July regarding who should lead. These elements might contribute to Mordaunt's resistance to resigning. Johnson stated that you can't govern effectively until you have a united party in Parliament. I have a very high chance of winning the election with Conservative Party supporters. But over the past few days, I have realized that doing this would be wrong. The party informed candidates that they have time till the 24th of October to confirm that they have at least 100 MPs support to advance to a vote. Party also made clear that if more than one candidate has declared their candidacy by the end of the 24th, party members will cast the deciding vote online, with the results expected on the 28th of October. Johnson said he would support whoever won and declined to make an endorsement. While Sunak now holds a decisive advantage, there are several possibilities in which Mordaunt might end up being the Tory member's pick. He lost the leadership race to succeed Johnson earlier in the summer to Truss, which worried Tory members because of his part in Johnson's demise and his choice to hike taxes to their highest level since World War II. His personal fortune and his relentless attacks on Truss throughout the competition have also raised concerns. With that, we've come to an end. See you next time. Goodbye.